Hello, it's Natasha. Thanks for being here. Today I'm going to go over how to handstand press, the coveted press handstand. Perhaps you might want to have handy a wall, some blocks. I have some socks that are ready for when I'm going to do some pike sliding. You could do that on a stability ball, a yoga wheel, any kind of ball. So those are some things you might need. You could use a yoga strap. I'm not really going to cue that one, but that is another option when you're learning. I'm going to take you through everything you need to know to get there. This might be a lot on your wrists and body for one day, so maybe you break this up and just kind of get to know the drills and what it takes to get started on your pressing journey. I would recommend that you have a solid handstand. We are going to work on some slow lowers, which means you'll be up in the handstand and then trying to slowly engaging the core and the shoulders lower it back down to the earth, which is going to be really helpful for when you're trying to reverse that and press up. All right, so first thing is going to be your wrists. We're going to start with some wrist circles. Just prepping the wrists, circling both directions. You could take these little wiggles here. There's so many of each of the exercises I'm going to show you. So I'm just picking some of my favorites. Let's flip the back of the hands upside down, put a little bit of weight on the top. We can come into a tabletop position to do this. Coming fingertips, palms, palms up, palms down. Fingertips, palms, palms up, palms down. Rocking in different directions, just bearing weight on the hands. And just like in handstand, the hands are very important. You want the fingers spread wide. You want to engage through the whole entire hand. This inside and wraps around the knuckles is what's going to really engage, and then the fingertips. All right, so just whatever wrist stretches you like to take here. Back and forth, fingers backwards. Good. And we'll fire up the forearms with some blinks. So just starting to engage the shoulders and the core. Sit up nice and tall, crown of the head to sky, blinking the fingers really fast. I love this one because it really fires the forearms and gets you warm and prepped up for the work. All right, blinking, same thing overhead. Blinking, blinking as fast as you can. Start to push faster and faster for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Circle on the way down. Let's take downward facing dog. Pedaling into the feet, taking some nice deep breaths here. Remember to spread the fingers. So we're already starting to activate the shoulders as you press the weight up towards the sky. Not collapsing, really trying to straighten out the arms, elbow creases inward, broaden through the shoulders, breathe. So pressing does take hamstring flexibility. You need to be able to get the hips up over the shoulders, or it's gonna be really hard to press. And the elbows are gonna really bend to get you there. You can elevate the feet, and we'll do that as a way to learn. But eventually, you're going to need to be able to get those hips up over the shoulders. So let's just go ahead, and while we're stretching out the hamstrings, we'll continue to activate the shoulders. Roll into plank, push the shoulders down. You can do a couple scapula push ups. Sink, push away. Sink into the shoulders, press away. So kiss the shoulder blades and then puff up through the back of the heart. Protract, retract, protract. Squeeze that belly in. Total body activation. Quads, fingertips pressing down, crown of the head forward. Good, heels back. Let's take the right leg up and then maybe left arm up. Breathe, 2 breaths. Switch, left leg up. See if you can lift the right arm up. It's okay to be wobbly. Just try to engage even more for balance and bring it down. All right, so there's a million shoulder strengthening exercises you can do. Let's do some down dog push-ups. Again, I'm just gonna take you through a few of everything, but you do need really strong shoulders and a really strong core and a strong handstand practice. So those are some prerequisites. And like I said, hamstring flexibility. Take some hip flexor strength to be able to sweep those feet off as well.
So we'll go over that next. 4, push up 3, exhale, 2, head towards the earth, elbows wide on this one, and then reset, fingers forward, walk back to your down dog, and breathe. How are those shoulders? Fire. You could do some protraction, retraction here, practicing on really pushing, which is what you need to get the float. A strong enough push that you can lean and squeeze the core to lift the legs off of the mat. Let's come down. All right, again, any wrist stretches that need to happen. And let's take our hamstring flexibility and then some hip flexor quad strength. Inhale up. Exhale to your fold. Try to activate the quad muscles, send the hip bones back, send the heart forward, and just breathe into the back body, the hamstrings. Work on flexibility. Good. And then lift on up. So we'll keep working this shoulder strength, core strength, and work on a couple of hip lifts. Bring the fingertips up by the knees, bend over, and try to lift the butt off of the mat. It's that same pushing of the shoulders, engaging the core, push, pull, that you'll need. 2 more. Exhale, push. Inhale, exhale, push. You could try full L sit, maybe on blocks or on the mat. 3, 2, 1. Have a seat, flip the palms up. All right, you could go ahead and bring your fingertips down, and we'll try to lift the legs, strengthening quads, hip flexors, core. Good. Press the fingertips up by the knees, puff up through the back of the heart, push and then pull up the legs. 4, 3, 2, exhale, 1. Good. Let's just bring those legs up and center, over and center. Try a few of these. Waking up through the hip flexors. Good. Open, building that strength. Does take core and quad strength too. You could kind of put blocks down just for fun to sweep over the block. Maybe stack 2 blocks. I'm kind of going through this a little quickly. I don't want this video to be super long, but you can always pause and continue to play. Take notes and work on this stuff every day. The more you practice, the stronger you'll get, the more likely you're gonna press. Definitely takes confidence and it takes perseverance. Good, determination. 1 more set here. Open, close, open, and close. 1 more fold. Good. Release it here. All right, we're gonna work on more core. Let's start with a boat Navasana. Bring the feet up and then see if you can push up and pull those feet in. We'll go high to low, high to low. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. I'm hitting this table here. Inhale, exhale. 1 more. Stay down, hollow body. Good, rock. 4, sacrum down. 3, low back pushes. Here's 2, here's 1. Good, hold, hold. Engage everything, round the spine slightly, pull the belly down, and release it. Give yourself a nice big squeeze, rock and massage on the spine. Good, we're gonna take this hollow body work facing our head to the wall. And our hands are gonna press back into the wall like you are doing a handstand. And we're going to just start by lifting the legs and lowering them, lifting and lowering. Good, inhale and exhale. Just a couple more here. Press the low back down. Head can rest. And let's do 2 and 1. And then we'll try to reverse that, peeling the spine off, bringing your feet to the wall, slow, lower down. And we can do that with this piked straight leg position, pressing and then slow roll down. Or to mimic the straddle press, we can try this straddling up, slowly pressing down. Try a few of those. Straddle up, slow lower, fingertips or palms at the wall. It's okay if you start to pull away from it. It's really just about core strength. Good, exhale, slow, lower, down. Let's do one more. And again, you can play with these every single day to strengthen all the muscles it takes for pressing. Good, except here we're kind of leaving out the shoulders, but all of the full body, the quads, the hip flexors, the core, working really hard, even through the lats, side of the back. Good, and take a rest. Nice work. We can come on up to seated. So basically that was just a quick warm up of wrists, hip flexors, hamstrings, and core. Now we're going to continue with trying to just push the floor away and get the hips up. So take your deep forward fold, plant your hands down, practice pushing the shoulders down in protraction and getting those hips up. So we're just going to practice the position for the press. Shift, press down, press down, press down, lean into the hands, make those feet light, and then exhale. Do a few of those. And you can start to add on to this. As you lean forward, you're going to feel the core activate. Really push into the shoulders. Straighten out those arms, even lock them out. And then see if you can tap the toe, plug the hip in. Use the core and the shoulders to tap as high up the wrist or arm as possible. A couple more times. And rest. Shake out the head. Good. A lot of ways to work on that. From downward facing dog. See if you can lift, create space, plug the hip flexor up, the quad, femur bone up towards the hip, and then see if you can tap there. Plug it up and in, tap the wrist or forearm up, and good. Bring it down. Hover. You can even try to keep the heel down on the opposite foot to make it harder or to give yourself more space. Come high on the toes. Good, trying both ways. Rounding the spine, using the core, pulling, plugging in, leaning into the fingertips, and coming back. Release it. So something I always teach in my classes is to do that same action from half split. So another good hamstring stretch here. Blocks, fingertips, or palms will make this even harder. You got to be really strong to press. So all these are really great exercises to do. Push the shoulders down, puff up through the back of the heart, and see if you can squeeze the belly quad in and up. Hold, hover, and release. Make sure you do both sides. Work on your hamstring flexibility while engaging that rounded spine, core connection, hip flexor, quad, core, back, puffing up through the back of the heart, squeeze and hold. So this might be really challenging. So continue to work on it. Use fingertips for more space, use blocks, but eventually you will need to be able to do that on flat hands to be able to press or come close to at least being able to hover. All right, next thing we're gonna do, you could also do that in pyramid really quickly just to show you. Same thing, standing, fingertips, hover, 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 pushing the shoulders down, engaging the core. So really kind of root locking and activating everything that you're gonna need for pressing. Next thing we're gonna do are called mat walks or mat floats. And we're gonna try to float the feet forward, exactly what it sounds like. Start at the back of the mat, practice palms down, shoulders push down, engage the core, lift the hips nice and high, and see if you can find a moment to float forward. So once you get that takeoff, that's the hardest part. Lean, 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 lean. See if you can lift. And maybe it's easier with straddling legs. Spread the fingers wide, index finger forward, lean into the hands, lock out the elbows, shift, and see if you can find some float. So you can start with this bent elbow and then use the strength of your shoulders and the lift of your heels to start to push, 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 engage the core, float. Good, and you'll work on that a bunch. Push, 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 push. Trying to get that floating action, okay? Once you have that, you're on your way to pressing. Okay, so a couple rounds of mat floats. Make sure you stretch the wrists. This is a lot for one day on the hands before we go into the next one, which is gonna be trying to slow your lower of the handstand. So however you wanna get up to your handstand, kicking, jumping, we'll try and get a nice solid handstand and then push the earth away, engage the core. We'll straddle, make it a little easier. See how slow you can lower. Push, 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 land. Flip the palms. Good. So the easier that becomes, the easier it's going to be to press. You could work on handstand to landing in crow. All of this stuff will only help strengthen your body. If that's not accessible, it doesn't mean you're not going to be able to press, but all this work you put in and trying all these hard things will strengthen your total body and get you there faster. So I'll just try a slow lower to crow. We'll lift into a tuck and practice pushing the shoulders down, engaging the core to slow down your landing. Squeeze, 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 land. Push, hug the heels in and release. All right, so lowering slowly from handstand. Another great one to practice. If your wrists aren't really, it's a lot for one day, so my wrists are already feeling this. But another great one is to practice crow to crane. It's that same idea that you need of pushing the arms to straight and engaging the core to lift the hips up higher to get your feet off the ground. So crow push-ups, crow to crane, all of this work here is gonna help you bend. See if you can push and straighten. Bend, and if you fall out of it, you just try again. Bend, push, 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 straight, 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 lift, 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 and release. So practicing a few of those, releasing and stretching the wrists. All right, moving on. I'm gonna take us to, one more exercise I didn't mention. I'll quickly just demo it, but doing plank tucks or pike ups will use the same muscles as as pressing. You can use a wheel or a ball to practice these, but trying to really push the shoulders down, engage everything up, and then maybe you even float there and pressing back. So trying to squeeze in, and then trying to elevate enough to slip those feet back is quite challenging. So pressing down into the shoulders, making those feet light, lean, 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 push. Okay, so practicing that for strength is also gonna help. Okay, wrists are getting tired. And you probably wouldn't do all of this every day, but picking a few exercises to work on will only strengthen your body enough so that you will be able to press. Now, the way that I learned to press and how to understand what muscles it took, I pushed my head into a wall for my straddle press, and that really taught me what kind of core strength it took me. So you're gonna try to bring your hands back. It will be a little more of a lean than you'll do probably when you're freestanding, but back of the head is gonna press into the wall, and you're gonna try to lift those hips and float the feet off. And then try to do that slow, I'm kicking everything, slow lower down. All right, again, a lot on the wrists, so take your time to stretch in between all this. I'm kind of blowing through it. But when we press our head against the wall, we take a lot of the weight out of the press, which is really helpful when you're learning.
So you could press into something softer. I've seen people put a wheel against the wall, press into a couch, a chair. You need your hands back away so you have the space to lean. Back of the head presses. We push the shoulders down. We use the core to peel up the legs. And you can come into more of a straight shoulder alignment and then try to roll down. Okay, and shake. I like to do these little, instead of just shaking out the wrists, kind of twisting, kind of finding some release through the forearms and the wrists. All right, another one I showed you guys in the handstand tutorial. Sit on the forearms and just massage out with the legs. Circle the wrists. Okay, next way I'm going to show you how to practice and get there. And you might use something higher than blocks, is to elevate your feet. You could do elevating your feet and the wall. That's really helpful. So if you are still struggling to get up even with the wall, put your feet up higher and then press into the wall. So show you that one. Leaning, leaning. My feet are already higher and then I can press off. Good. Exhale. Push, 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 and slowly come back down. All right, so when you're ready to come off of the wall, elevated feet are still really nice. And I'm going to show you the puppy press, because that's probably the best way to start you on your journey. I didn't know about the puppy press when I was starting, so I started with a straddle. But a puppy press, one leg is already up there, and that will really get you into the alignment of the stacked hips, which is really helpful. Press the fingers wide, start to lean forward, push into the shoulders, lift one foot, get that hip up, knee points to the side, and then you try to sweep the foot out to the side. All right, so puppy press, again, you see how my hip is just gonna try to come up higher, and that makes it a little more accessible, okay? So you have a wall. If you're the kind of person that still needs to strengthen their shoulders and your elbows are bending, that's how I was when I started. You could practice with a strap, but again, you'll have to eventually build just shoulder strength with planks. You could do some weighted shoulder presses, chaturangas, crow crane. All that is going to strengthen the shoulders. All right, so, and if blocks aren't high enough, start on something high. Feet on a table, feet on a chair. As long as you're able to lean forward and find the float, that's where the work begins, okay? So elevate the prop as high as you need, and then maybe start to lower down until you hit the ground. Another little tip to kind of get you started is it's okay in the beginning to kind of, we don't want to jump, that's not pressing, but it's okay to shift your weight and use just a little bit of a push off to get the float. So that's not really cheating. Eventually, when you get strong enough, you won't need to do that, but it's almost like you're just a transfer of weight. So pressing into the hands, leaning back, and then as you lean forward, you just shift and try to float off there, okay? Slow lower. Will only build up strength. If you're really tired, you can always just come down fast. Just be safe. All right, so I'm gonna show you finally the two presses that we're going for, good ways to start. The puppy press. Again, really hamstring flexibility comes into play because the higher those hips are stacked, the easier it's gonna be to press. So your two presses, I'm gonna give you a side angle, are puppy press, lift one foot, push that knee out to the side, lean into the hands and float off. All right, there's your puppy. And then your straddle press is a little harder because you need to get both feet off the ground. And then there's crow press, firefly press, pike press, which is super hard, both feet off the ground with straight legs. So for today's purposes, we're definitely not gonna go for the pike. That'll probably be months or even years later than your straddle. So straddle press, palms down. Try and push the shoulders down as you lock out the elbows, turn the crease of the elbows inward, and then press the legs out to the side and up. All right, you have work to do. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope these tips helped you. It might just be a matter of building the strength to get you there. So doing some of the first shoulder work, core work, the beginnings of pressing, and then eventually with practice, you will get there. It also takes a certain amount of confidence. So if you have doubt, you're probably not gonna get up. The moment I put the thought, I can do this, and I felt the confidence and the energy, and it sounds silly, but once you believe in yourself, once you have the strength and the drills and the means to get there, the second piece is just believing you can do it, and then those legs might just float off. Thanks for being here. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to help. I will see you guys next time. Bye.